Welcome, everyone, to Stay the Republic podcast on video. I'm your host, Luis Urbano, as usual. It's our first time that we're actually recording a video podcast. Of course, it's always on the podcast, sacsoccerpod.com, and anywhere you guys listen to podcasts. But it's the first time that we're actually going to also be on video. So you guys could excuse some of the hiccups that we'll probably have along the way, especially on this first one. We're going to learn as we go with this because we haven't really used this streaming tool that we now use as a recorder in quite some time here. But we're really excited, though, to share a video version of this podcast. So if you're currently listening to the podcast and you want to go and watch it, then you have that option because on video, we are going to share the things that we usually share, the video highlights, the post-match conference, the standings, the upcoming matches for our opponents, or I should say the matches before that they have. And of course, podcast winner dinner. You guys could see that like crazy spreadsheet that only we're seeing in the background. So check that out if you want to check out the video version. And of course, you could also watch the video version on the website, sacsoccerpod.com, under our videos section as well. But let me go ahead and introduce our guests, or not our guests, our team members here in this live stream phase. I guess I'm thinking live stream because we're on this live stream platform. But we got a full house tonight here of our State of the Republic team members. So first, let's go over to, I'm going to go in a screen order from what I see on my screen here. Let's go to the city of Kilgore with Jared. How's it going, Jared?
The days of summer are finally winding down, but not getting much better. But other than that, doing excellent. Watched a great match last night with the Republic FC going up against the Roots, and now we got 2 matches coming up this week. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for the boys in red.
Yeah, and what a game for us to cover on this episode, right? A lot of goals to cover. I mean, it'll be good for us to have the video version to be able to tell everyone, these were the different goals, and for us to do the video analysis with video included for everyone to see here. And next, let's go over to the city of Elk Grove with Sharon. How's it going, Sharon?
Hi, guys. Yeah, not used to muting and unmuting, but we're good. I'm good. Today's a whole lot better than the last couple days, so it's a good day. And Rian, how are you?
Yeah, happy to be back. Sorry I missed last week. I had a bit of a work circumstance that kind of took over that entire week. But happy to be back. Happy to be talking about the Republic, and you guys are going to see the craziness that is happening behind me that is referred to in previous episodes. So happy to be here and happy to be on video.
Hey, Rian, it's actually very neat comparatively.
Is it? I didn't really put any work into it.
Yeah, and we're in Jared's bedroom. Ooh la la. Sorry, we're getting off to a spicy start. Can we talk about food? No.
I want to go HEB now. Thank you.
Sorry.
Wow, we immediately went to food. Good job.
I'm sorry, Rian. I had luau for brunch. I was able to get out to brunch with Mama. That will be my laws of gratitude. Thank you, Mom, for the food. And so they made what's the thing with the egg and the meat? And what's that thing called, Rian? Do you remember? It's real popular.
Locomoco.
Locomoco. So they made a locomoco pie, like a quiche. So sorry, everybody. I don't have a picture of it to show you, but it was actually like a quiche-based locomoco, whatever it's called. Say it.
Locomoco.
Locomoco. Thank you. State of the Food podcast, starting off with a bang.
Yeah, at some point, food will actually make an appearance on the video now that we're also on video. So not that we talk food, but we'll show the food.
We could easily do that.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things to cover on this episode today. I know it kind of went out of order, but again, we're doing the video version too, and we're still trying to figure things out as we go. But we got a few things. We got, as usual, Colossus of Gratitude. We're going to talk about yesterday's, again, goal fist of a match, 3-3. So we'll go over our thoughts on the match, the stats. We'll review the video of the goals or talk about the goals for the podcast. Of course, we're going to have the post-match conference, both an audio and video version, where we'll take a look at the USL standings. We're going to look at our next two opponents, which happen within the next week. So midweek, we play against Loudoun United in the quarterfinals of the USL Cup. We'll look at what their current form looks like. And then next Saturday, we travel out to El Paso in our next USL Championship play. That game will be at 6 p.m. And then, of course, we'll talk about podcast winter dinner. How are things looking like there? Things are still Western Conference standing-ish like. So we'll take a look at that. And again, you guys on video will be able to see our crazy spreadsheet of numbers there. And so with that, let's go ahead then and move on to Golazos of Gratitude. And I'm sorry, y'all, you won't hear the intro that we usually play on the podcast. So Sharon will just get right to it on the video. So
sure,
Sharon,
and that's not a problem because it is the way it is. Thank you for the introductions, and thank you everybody for being here. Golazos of gratitude to you all. Big golazos of gratitude to everybody in our chat and to Chris and all my girlfriends who kept me posted on the antics of the evening last night because we're recording on Sunday. So last night was Saturday, the match day. Saw a bunch of stuff come through on social media. Really appreciative of Thighs Out for Gur Night. And looked like the Levee Patrol took the cake on that one. So shout out to them for posing up on the levee. And just in general, grateful that the team tied and didn't lose. And also thankful for everybody who's participated in our little poll of which goal you liked the best of last night's Sac Republic goals. Rion.
Yeah, so I have a couple golazos of gratitude since I haven't been here in a little bit. First off goes off to all the members of TBB. I loved seeing the typos last night. They had two of them. One was the Hello Cup typo, and then the other one was the Oakland Roots logo, but turned upside down and burning. That was great to see live at the match. Couple more goes out to some of my friends, Max and Braden of the Flatulence FC. I mentioned them, I think the last time I was on, where it's like a FIFA club, but we created these little jerseys for our team, so it's good to see them come in, and yeah, it's been fun. One more to Max, especially for showing off this album that just came out recently, Joey Valence and Bray. Their Hyper Youth album. It's a rap hyper pop album. Great listen. Just came out recently. I recommend it. And one more goes out to the guests that we've had at the last couple of matches, Jimmy Conrad and Megan Reyes, both as a guest commentator and a guest MC. Both amazing people. I grew up watching Jimmy Conrad on YouTube, and Megan Reyes has been an excellent content creator. So it's good to see him come back to Sacramento and contribute to the team. Jared, any golazos?
Well, I've got a couple here and there. Definitely want to give a quick golazo to my local Subway here that came through in the clutch yesterday. Just need to get something to eat to get ready for the match a couple hours later. So they worked out with the promo codes. Also want to give golazo of gratitude to TBB for that amazing Thighs Out for Gur night. I saw some of the pictures there, and especially with a Levee Patrol. Definitely glad to see the folks, kind of come out and participate in that kind of night. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on what September brings as well. Also, a big future golazo of gratitude to my employer tomorrow, where we have a special employees meeting, and it's going to include breakfast. So that's another thing I'm definitely thankful for. That's all I've got right now at the moment. How about you, Luis?
All right, so I just have 3 golazos of gratitude. First one, I know I kind of mentioned it on the last podcast, but out to Sharon for gifting me 2 tickets there in section 105. As always, best section to be at. We're all really loud. Shout out to everyone who was yelling as usual at the ref and at the players. It was all really fun to be there as always. Another one goes out to Coach Collins, actually, for having Roro start the match we saw he got his goal, and it's really awesome to see him starting matches and not only getting subbed in. So thank you, coach, for having all the faith in the world to make sure you give Roro those starting minutes that I'm sure he always wants, and we want to have him start as many matches as possible. And then one more goes out, and I've never had a golazo of gratitude like this, but it actually goes out to the Oakland Roots fans for making the trip out from Oakland to Sacramento. And there were quite a few. You guys probably saw in their section. They were really loud. At times, they were actually louder than Tower Bridge Battalion, which I don't know what was going on there. I kind of wanted to go over there and be like, hey, come on, guys. They're being louder than you guys. But the fact is, they're going out there, they're supporting their team. And this is what it's all about, right? Seeing people from other cities make the trip out to our stadium and show that it's not just about, just one team, but also about the away team, and just showing that passion to follow their team. And this is the reason why I say we need teams in San Francisco that make it up to USL Championship, and other cities around us, because there's a lot of big cities. I mean, Fresno needs to make a comeback with the Fuego because fans will travel. So we definitely need more of that. So shout out to them for making the trip, just like our fans make the trip out to Oakland. All right.
So one thing about that, there were many people were somewhat critical of the noise level of the Tower Bridge Battalion over not being louder than Oakland Roots. We have to remember how noise travels. Physics lesson. They're projecting across the field from north to south, whereas the Oakland Roots group was projecting directly at our stands. That's one thing to consider. The second thing to consider is, if you don't think that the Tower, and this goes to everybody, if you think Tower Bridge Battalion isn't loud enough, go join them. That's one of the things that is constantly being said online by the Tower Bridge Battalion. If you think we're not loud enough, please come join us. And I was thinking that would be a really good thing in second half, is for many of the fans to slide on over and add your voice and add a cowbell or add any kind of noise for them. But to be fair, our little section 105 sometimes gets pretty loud too, but not on a consistent basis like what we're expecting from a supporters group. So just bear that in mind. If you think it's not loud enough, let's go over there. Let's go amp it up for them.
Yeah, no, they definitely needed that. I think yesterday, because there were moments. Well, I will say there were moments where we didn't really have a chant going on. It wasn't so much that they weren't as loud. So I think that I'm not sure what was going on there exactly, but I think the time where I felt like we should have been more loud, and I mean, a lot of us are getting annoyed, I think, in our section on that side, but it was at the end when Jack gets a ball to the face. And you guys probably heard on TV, right? Or Rian, surely you heard being there at the stadium, the Oakland Roots fans. I think, that was maybe a thing I didn't like about them that they did. They were telling them to get up. And I think TV got a little more quieter, and it's like, come on. That was, first of all, I don't know who says that. I wouldn't say that to an opponent because you just got a ball to the face.
I mean, I'll jump in here. I mean, to be fair, we do moo the opposing players at our home stadium. It's kind of a even kind of thing that happens. I mean, it just happens that Oakland has a bunch of fans in support of their players to fight back on those kind of calls.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought, I mean, I know some people, though, I will say in our section, did think that we were time wasting, which I don't know. I would never agree that we would time waste in a match like this, right? Because
we did too time waste when Danny pulled a cramp. There's been a little bit of a verification that was a strategy. So we do. Come on, Luis.
Well, no, I meant after we tied, I couldn't see us because some people were saying, oh, they're playing for the tie. At home, you could not play for a tie, right? Granted, when we were winning 3-2, I get it. Yeah, they're gonna. I do agree. I think that's when he fell and we had that hydration break. I think it was when we were still up 3-2, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? I think it was at that point where I think we were winning. which
I'd have to go back and look.
it made sense if that was the time. But yeah, so lots of things happen. I just wanted to put that out there just because I felt, but good in you saying that, Sharon. We do need to have that section even more full. There's still some like open seats on that side, and certainly other sections. I mean, by all means, like yell as much as you want, join in the chants. I know I sometimes get a few looks. I will say, I don't know if this happens to you, Sharon, in section 105, by maybe some people that normally don't sit there or aren't used to the loudness, and so. But it might just be some people that aren't used to sitting on that side, and
Or they're not used to soccer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you got to yell at all times. Come on. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the match, our thoughts. For those of you watching on the video, we actually are going to be sharing the screen here with our FOTMob stats. So if you want to, again, look at the video, we'll have the stats appearing on there. But no worries for everyone listening on audio, because we're still going to talk about what we see here on the screen. And let me go ahead and like change the layout here so we don't get blocked by that banner that we have on the screen there. But yeah, so I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and I want to start with you, Rian, since you were there at the stadium watching the match live. What were your overall thoughts on this 3-3 draw?
Yeah, first I want to start off with like the atmosphere. These are the kind of games that I live for. These are the kind of games that I fall in love with soccer for. Like, these are the rivalry matches where anything can happen. And again, shout out to the Oakland fans, shout out to Oakland themselves. The fans showed up, the team showed up, and it was a great match overall if you were a neutral. If you were a supporter of either Republic or Oakland, like you were kind of going through the ringer a little bit with this match. But in terms of the gameplay, Oakland showed out. Oakland came to fight, and they got the better of the chances. Republic were clinical. Republic got some chances and converted them, but Oakland looked like the better team on the night. Where Sacramento, some of it wasn't there. The passing wasn't the best, but you can't really expect that in a rivalry match. Like, people are gonna play not like the cleanest football, but it's what it is. But Sacramento had 5 shots on the night, which is their lowest since the Rhode Island game back in June. They had the lowest expected goal total at 0.60, which is the lowest since the Birmingham match back in June. So Sacramento were on this streak of having a high attack, having a high-performing attack, and something about Oakland's press, something about Oakland's defense really stifled the Republic, and it shows in the numbers. But great match, fun match. Cicerone, Parano, Lopez scored some absolute bangers of goals. Like, those were insane. Oakland followed up with their own. Like, the second goal that they had from an absurd angle. That was a crazy angle to shoot from, let alone convert. That was amazing. Great match overall.
Yeah, no, let's hear from Sharon and Jared. You guys watching it on TV, had more replays that were, much better than for us trying to just like squint at the replay. Yeah,
some replays, but echoing Rian's statements, I think I was yelling at the television a lot when some of the passes were off, and the pass completion rate by some of our players, or the accuracy rate, Rian, I don't know if it was lower than Oakland, but I think the rivalry match sometimes makes you do things differently as a player, because there's so much riding on the line, and the performance level is expected to be a little bit different. It's not like it didn't feel as free flowing. There was a lot of standing on the ball. Oof, don't say that, Sharon. It felt like there was some standing on the ball while we were waiting for our guys to make runs. And there were moments of brilliance where the passing opportunities looked like they had been rehearsing it all week, and that Oakland was a cone. There were a bunch of cones. that looked good when it worked, but it playing against Oakland. They did their homework and they had Benny Feilhaber, whatever he's doing with them, whatever he's feeding them, I think was successful for them. I don't think they expected to come in and do as well as they did, and they did. So it's kind of a thing. Last game, not this one, the last match, we had the bulk of the possession and we looked strong and we were just dynamite. This match, we've played like in prior matches. Oh shit, a big door just slammed. Sorry about that. The prior matches where we didn't need a bulk of the possession because we had the ability to counter and score, otherwise known as, Roro's set piece, Cristian Parano's birthday zingy, and then Russell Cicerone's banger from the outside. I mean, that was fabulous. And by the way, just so you know, they're almost head and head on our little poll that we did as far as whose goal was favorite. I will say I was hoping, since we didn't have as much possession, that we would have more opportunities pressing forward. So it didn't work out quite the way that I was expecting it to work out against Oakland. But at the end of the day, we didn't lose. So that's a key. Sad to see Danny, get stuck with 3 goals against, because Rian, I don't know what that does for his status as Golden Glove. I don't know. Maybe you have more information on that than I do. I was worried about that.
Yeah, as far as this match goes, I mean, this was a classic slugfest, as it used to be. I mean, the past few matches, of course, have been either just slight wins or just massive drubbings on national television. So this is a little change of pace. Could be good, could be bad. Just real depends on how the rest of the season goes. But I mean, to see massive goals from Roro, from Cristian on his birthday, so keeping that birthday win, or at least birthday goal train going. And then also Russell Cicerone just serving up bangers like he was at the Fox and Goose. Overall, fan experience was good. I'm glad to see so many Oakland fans actually make the trip out. Thankfully, they didn't take the 3 points back with them. But already with this match, I'm seeing some folks saying, oh, this is a disappointing result. And I have to take the Mr. Chow from the Hangover point on it. But did we die? In this case, but did we lose? But did we suddenly take ourselves out of playoff contention? Did we ruin our undefeated streak we've had since this past June? The answer is no. So yes, it would have been nice to have a win. I mean, it would have been great to have a win, but we tied. So it's not like we lost or anything. The world's not ending as of yet. Nobody's pooping the bed. So we're just going to move on, take this point, stay where we're at in second place in the Western Conference, and then focus on going against Loudoun this Wednesday and then El Paso on Saturday.
Okay, so I have a couple responses here. In terms of passing accuracy, Sacramento was at 80.9 accuracy versus Oakland at 89.6. This gap is exaggerated when going into the final third, where Sacramento was only at 62.6 accuracy in Oakland's final third versus a 79% accuracy for Oakland in Sacramento's final third. So there's a big gap there. And in terms of goal against for Vidi, the USL site doesn't keep a running total of what each keeper is at, but before the match, Danny Vitiello was at 0.68 goals against, and now he's at 0.84, which is still decent, less than a goal against per his appearances. So he's still in good territory. I don't know what the rest of the keepers are. That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, he's still in the top in terms of clean sheets. He's among the top right there. So that hasn't changed. And I mean, this game was an outlier, I feel like, right? Because we normally don't tend to get 3 goals against, which again, a lot to learn from this game, right? And some of the goals that we'll take a look at right now, and things that I'm sure they'll be reviewing, especially since we have 2 games upcoming. But lots that will be happening here in the next week. But I mean, taking a look at the stats, I mean, it says a lot, right? 63% ball possession for Roots. We only had 37%. A lot more shots, more than double the shots. They had 12 shots. We had 5. Out of those, we did have 4 on target. So, I mean, I guess there's some progress with shooting on target. There's that. But in terms of accurate passing, though, I mean, you guys could see there, Oakland Roots at 90%. I mean, I kept saying it throughout most of the game, right? I felt like we were ball watching at times. We let them do way too many passes. And I mean, I think we saw more of that, like, be as a result of the second goal that they score right before the first half. And, that's a reflection of that, right? You let your opponent have the ball more. True, sometimes they might miss, but, sometimes they are actually going to get a goal from all those passes because you're letting them have control of the game in that way. But let's go ahead and take a look at the goals themselves. So let me go ahead and share my video screen here for y'all to see the goals. So let's talk about the goal that we get scored on first, scored in the 10th minute. And let's take a look at it here. We have it here on video for those of you, again, watching on video. But again, what I was saying about the ball watching, I mean, you guys can count how many passes were done, right? And then the ball gets crossed. One of the players who was going to go to originally, he ends up not getting to it, but the guy behind him does get to it, and he actually doesn't even shoot it, right? He gets to it basically with his knee. It's a knee goal, and I think Danny was not expecting that, and I think that's why you see Danny just left standing, basically, right? Which isn't quite like Danny to be in that circumstance, but I mean, they were there. The guy who ends up getting to it was there. They get the goal 1-0 before, like in the first 10 minutes of the match. Like, that's not an easy way to start a match, but we really shouldn't have been watching the ball for as long as we did, right? Because that's how they were able to connect all those passes, get to the guy, number 30, which, by the way, we were booing most of the match. You guys probably heard on TV. And yeah, they ended up getting the first goal. What do you guys think?
Well, I know Rian was there, so he was probably watching the buildup. But this was the first hollering at the television, like, can we just check and make sure it was not offsides? I mean, all the things ran through my head, that typically run through a fan's head of that can't be right. That had to have been wrong. Something happened in the box. They'll call it back, and they didn't. So that's what was going through my head. And it was Adam Moffat and Rob McAllister said that Danny was wrong-footed. That the shot got Danny wrong-footed, caught Danny wrong-footed. Danny didn't do anything wrong. It was a perfect shot on goal. And there was nothing he could do because he was shifting the direction that he thought things were going to play was going to happen. But this was an interesting, it was interesting to watch the assignments undo themselves in the back line like that, because we've not had. Okay, so the other thing that was mentioned is Jared Timmers wasn't in the lineup. Nothing against anybody who was back there, but I think Jared has a tendency to see things differently and quickly, and I think he was sorely missed in the match last night overall. That's all I got.
Yeah, so while I was watching the match, this was Oakland's first. Well, this was the first real chance of the night. Sacramento had been pressing, but Oakland caught them on the counterattack. In this match, it seemed like, well, it's very rare for the Republic to concede a goal, let alone multiple goals, and it felt like in this match the back line just felt a little bit more unorganized than usual. You see Freddie Kleeman get drawn out and then lose a one-on-one early on in the play, and then Sacramento is caught recovering. And Moby Fair put in a great ball that was finished off by Daniel Gomez. Daniel Gomez. Yeah, great play from Oakland to catch Sacramento like perfectly while they were transitioning back in unorganized, and yeah, good shot from them.
Yeah, I mean, Oakland just jumped on the opportunity early on. I mean, I think that's probably what they wanted to do best as far as this match. Just capitalize any moment they can, especially early on in the match. They're probably already aware of our 85th minute curse from this season, but of course they would take advantage of that as well later on. But this one was just, sadly, it was perfectly positioned to catch Danny off his proper foot. And of course, that takes away half the battle right there. Whenever you get goalkeeper off the wrong footing, they're not going to have as much control or power or grip as they would be if they were on the strong foot. And unfortunately, this leads to Oakland taking the lead at 1-0.
Yeah, and I also think
wait.
that Danny was expecting the other guy to shoot, right? The guy that ends up not like getting to it, and so that may have thrown him off. I don't know if you guys see the same thing.
Yeah, the first guy he takes a swing at it. I don't know. I mean, it's a good thing for Daniel Gomez. Like, one of the things they teach you is to anticipate the ball coming to you no matter what happens in front of you. So good swing on him to not react to that first attacker missing and just getting his chance and taking it. Also, I think I said Moby Fair on the assist. It was Maury Donor. Wrong player. My bad.
Yeah, it was the guy that we were all booing there at the stadium, the Donor. But yeah, so that was that. That was the 1-0 goal. Again, as you guys mentioned, right? We haven't really had a goal against so early on in the match, right? So I mean, a lot of us were really surprised by this, but it is a rivalry game at the end of the day, and we knew that Oakland Roots was gonna give it their all, right? Because we know how the Western Conference is. They're trying to get their 3 points. They're trying not to fall back because you don't want to fall back, lose points, especially as we enter into September soon here, and we're in the final stretch of the season. So that was that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the tying goal, which I'm sure a lot of us were really happy for this one because we saw our legend Roro Lopez once again get another free kick goal since that goal he scored was it a few games ago, right, in Rhode Island, which was also through a free kick, but this time in Sacramento. And Rian, I don't know if you have it in your stats, but it would be really interesting to know when the last time was that Roro scored a free kick goal at home. Do you have it in your stats? Do you recall? Because I was wondering.
At home, I don't have that immediately on hand. Yeah, I don't have it immediately. Sorry.
Okay, no, all good. If you find out, maybe by the end of the episode or even later on, we could share it. It would be really interesting to know when that happened because I feel like it's been quite some time since that's happened at home. I know away he scored his goals away, but at home, I'm wondering when that last time was. But anyhow, this happened all in the 17th minute, and yeah, what a shot by Roro. I will say that I was a little surprised because it looked like the ball was going towards the goalkeeper side of things too. And let me go ahead and move here. All right, sorry guys, you have to go through a Nike ad for those of you that are watching on video. Let me go ahead and skip that ad right there. I'll someday have YouTube ad free, but for the meantime, that's what I got there. But we're looking at it, by the way, for everyone watching or listening. We're looking at it in slow motion, so that's why it took a while. I should have changed that here, but yeah, I mean, what a shot by Roro. I think if you look at it in slow motion, you could see more of the detail of where it was going to. The goalkeeper gets a hand to it, but he's inside. I mean, it's one of those free kick goals where goalkeeper is inside the box and manages to get a hand of it there. But what do you guys think of this free kick goal by Roro?
Highlight reel. Total highlight reel. ESPN. Bring it on.
All right, I'm going to wear my foil hat here, but it's just kind of a coincidence and a great one at that we have Roro scoring not once but 2 times back-to-back on the 9th and the 16th at home. So that just figures 9th and the 16th, Of course, 916 being the area code, that shows Roro's love for Sacramento. So he scored for us as well as for him. Another banger as usual. He was able to get into the right spot, takes the opportunity, equalizes the match. Once again, that just shows how Roro loves the 916 and the 916 loves him.
So wait a minute.
Oh,
No, we're in the month of August. That's 8th month.
No, it's the 9th of the month and the 16th of the month.
Oh, right. Sorry. Listen, Sharon. Listen and learn.
It's Sunday. It's as of recording time, so
Dude, I've had a rough couple days, so my brain is still coming back.
I hear you. Same thing with me at work, especially at work.
I wish mine was more work related.
yeah. So, you know who else but Roro to step up and take a free kick? The keeper, almost like he does his best, but Roro powers it home. He places it well out of the keeper's reach, where he can only get a hand to it, but can't keep it out of the net. Damn. Great goal from the captain.
Yeah, and as Jared said, the second week getting a goal against the California teams, right? Which is kind of cool when you see him score against our rivals there. But yeah, great thing to see him there, and especially to witness another Roro goal at home. For anyone who hasn't, seen a goal and to see it in free kick fashion, I mean, it's amazing. I'll say that, especially if you're in my situation where you weren't able to go to a match back in 2014, and to be able to see this is great 11 years later. So that was the tying goal there. And now we move on to a goal scored by the birthday boy himself, right? Cristian Parano, with the birthday luck too, right? It's not only with the fans, but guess what? Also players can score on their birthday. So we're finding out, there might be some luck whenever a player is celebrating a birthday. So play starts off with Roro giving a pass over to Blake Willey. And we know that Blake lately this season, he's been getting some assists, right? I mean, he's been, raising the stats for assists for his records. And he does just that. And who else but to give an assist to a Cristian Parano, that we know the guy is always willing to, step up, get, in front of the ball and be able to get a really good assist, as it was in this case, and have that one-on-one opportunity against the goalkeeper, and just place it right above the goalkeeper where the goalkeeper can never get to it and get his goal. I mean, Cristian Parnos, I feel like he's having the best season he's had with us in the time he's been with Sac, and it always makes us really happy to see a player have that evolution. So what do you guys think of the birthday boy's goal here? Oh,
all right.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll jump in, but I'm muted, so I wasn't jumping in. And then I heard Jared. You could see my lips moving, which basically says I'm lying. I'm kidding. That's not true. That's an old whatever. So I was not expecting this, but the buildup was worth the goal, if you know what I mean. Watching the passing combinations, this is the passing combination that I was talking about that I wished I would have seen more of, because Chris has a tendency, and y'all know I've talked about this in the past, Chris has a tendency to sometimes dribble until he loses the ball. We saw him do that several times, and Rihanna, I don't know if there's stats on any of that or not, but it seems like oftentimes he'll be trying to maneuver through defenders, and then boom, they recover the ball. He dribbles one too many times. Now everybody's got to make recovery runs, because when that happens, it's usually we're in a build-up position, we're in a high press, and then all of a sudden now we've got to run our butts back and get into a more of a defensive mode when the counter happens. But this was the one that got through. This is the one that made it. This is the successful one. This made me happy, because the clear passing lanes and the crease was there for Cristian to get in there and get that goal. This was fabulous. This is what he lives for. This is what he lives for, and we're really proud of him.
If it works for fans, it also works for players, as we've seen. birthday goals, birthday wins. I know not a win this time, but still, it's excellent to see Cristian Parano get that game-leading goal at that time on his birthday. I mean, it's an amazing feeling as far as that goes. But of course, also TBB's own Chris was celebrating a birthday the day prior. But you know what? We're gonna patch it onto this one as well. So that way, it's a birthday goal for both of them. But again, a great setup by Blake Willey on this maneuver. Seeing Cristian just moves in like a shark, just edges in. Just close enough for the goalkeeper to decide to get off the line, and then takes his moment and chips it right in there. So it's beautiful goal, excellent birthday goal as far as that goes.
Yeah, Sharon, you talk about the passing. There were moments throughout the match where you could see that there were ideas, there was creativity in the team. It just took that one final pass for the execution to actually hit. And it comes off here with Blake finding the pass to Cristian. Shout out to Blake for getting that split second pass off right before he gets closed down to Cristian, right outside the Oakland box. Shout out, great pass from him. For Blake, now he is tied for second in the team in the league for assists with Herrera and Cicerone, one behind Roro now for team leader. He's having a great season. He's racking up some assists, so good on him. And shout out to my fellow Leo, Cristian Parano, for getting a goal on his birthday.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at the replay, I don't know if it kind of looks like Blake is asking Roro for the ball too. I don't know if maybe I'm just looking at things, but it looks like he's pointing hey, give me the ball, because he's opening up, getting the space. So if that is the case, hey, shout out to Blake for having that communication on the field, right? To tell Roro, hey, give me the ball. Hey, that's cool. You're not just talking to any other player, you're talking to a legend, and to be demanding the ball from him. We need more players to do that, have that open communication and step up to, asking for the ball and getting in the right position to get the ball, just like he did here. And more players also like Cristian that aren't afraid of the offside trap, right? Because he was just a split second from being offside, and he managed to actually get to it right there perfectly, breaking the offside. And that's how you can get a lot of goals. You break that offside trap, and you're solid. We're going to have a lot of one-on-one opportunities like he did here in this play. So let's go ahead and move on to the goal that they score against us here. Happened, unfortunately, right before halftime. And we know these are the worst kinds of goals to get, because you're thinking you're going to go up winning at halftime, and it completely changes the speech that you're going to receive at halftime, I'm sure. So let's take a look at that play, and let me actually, for our video audience, actually play a normal speed. So initially you guys can look at it normal. But yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning, felt like there was a lot of ball watching in this play, because, they had so much time to figure out who to get the ball to, end up giving it to the guy who ends up scoring the goal. And just as Rian said earlier, it was a wonder shot, right? How often do you actually get to see a player score a goal like that with the angle that he had? I'll give it to Oakland. This was a really good goal by them, right? Because there's no way Danny or any other goalkeeper in USL would ever actually get to the ball with this shot. So what did you guys think of this one?
Yeah, Luis, you mentioned it. Just my thoughts were, this was absolutely absurd of a shot. Just to have the presence of mind to be able to think that you have your body in that position at that spot, at that angle, and to think, oh, I can take a shot here. That's crazy to me. And to have the ability to convert that from that spot is just absurd. Great ball in to get it over the defense, and an even better shot.
Filthiness, utter filthiness. Billy Mays would be spinning in his grave right now, looking at this, trying to get this play clean. It ain't happening. Unfortunately, they find out some kind of weird physics to squeeze it in at this angle and just managed to get it past Danny on this. So, yeah, filthy.
Sad was my first reaction when I saw that puppy go in, because at first I was like, how can that angle even do that? But I think we've had others do something like that. Like last year, Aldair Sanchez, he put one in on a sharp angle that I think blew everybody's mind. We weren't expecting it. And so when it's done against us, we absolutely do not like it. We prefer to do it against others, but we don't like it when it's done against us. So enough said. Moving on.
Was it AJ Edwards who put in?
Yes. Also this year.
At a crazy angle as well in Las
Yes.
Vegas? That was crazy.
Yes. This year AJ did it, but remember Aldair's last year? His was a sharp angle that nobody expected. Yeah, AJ, you're right.
Yeah,
Better that we do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's better for us to be able to see these kinds of goals and say like, hey, the goal might be a candidate for a ESPN top 10 of sorts there. And then towards the end of the first half, we could have had a goal. Would have been amazing, right? I mean, Corey could have had a goal there, but there, and I guess based on what the highlights show here, it seems like the linesman called offsides. And initially I thought, and it looks like, yeah, I could see the offside there. Initially I thought when I was there, just because the call was a little bit more later, that it was out of bounds, or that's what they were trying to call. And I was like, I never saw the ball be out of bounds, but I now see that it was offside. I don't know if you guys saw anything different, but from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it was.
So did the flag go up specifically for offside? Because I thought that the ball, when he crossed it, curved out of bounds and then back in. That's what Adam Moffat and Rob McAllister said, that when Jack put the ball across, the ball was out. But what you're saying is that because I don't see the flag going up. Typically a flag would have gone up earlier when the minute Jack touched the ball, if he was in an offside position, when he received the ball. So I think when the ball was played, we don't see it, but I think he was onside. But what Rob and Adam were saying was that the ball curled out and then in on the cross. And that was what was called, was that it became a goal kick.
Okay. I'm just basing it off just the video highlights here. They say outside.
Jared and I had the benefit of listening to the broadcast. So
yeah, I don't know what, I mean, I don't know. I never see it curl out, but again, like you said, we don't really have an angle to really see it. I mean, if we would have had a higher angle, then we could maybe see if we could see something else. But from what I see here, I really don't.
Let me look at FOTMob, because sometimes on the conversation they'll say what it was on FOTMob, because it's FOTMob.
Yeah,
you guys keep talking.
Yeah, from my perspective, the story I heard was the corner. I mean, not the corner kick, the cross, going out and in. But Jack does have a recorded offsides at some point in the match. I don't know if it's this one specifically, but there is a chance that it could have just been offsides, but it's up in the air from my perspective.
Offside. It's not plural unless you're saying there's more than one of them.
Offside. I don't know why I add the extra S to it.
I know everybody does. Everybody does. But just want to let you know it's offside.
Yeah. But
I would say what the S stands for, but yeah, that was pretty much my reaction as far as why they used offside on that call. Adding the S for
okay, so FOTMob has it as offside on Jack Gurr.
Was it? Okay.
But no, Sharon makes a good point though, because I didn't think at first that it would be offside, because linesman doesn't pull his flag up, right? I mean, he would have had to pull it once Jack gets to the ball, but it really doesn't happen until after the cross. So
he pulled it like just as Jack was crossing. It could be a case where the referee lets the play continue for a little bit to see what happens, and then they'll call it back. That's probably the case happening here.
Yeah, although I've seen that more when there's VAR, that they usually
Yeah.
let the play continue in case it needs to be reviewed again. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those plays where I feel like we had VAR. If we did, it would have probably been reviewed by VAR. I'm just saying, it could have been one, but unfortunately we don't. Goal didn't count. It would have been a really great goal because Corey had a really good header right there to the ball, but unfortunately that didn't happen there. So let's go ahead and move on to the
Actually,
goal. Yeah.
I do want to add one positive here. It's good
Okay.
to see that the Republic are linking up with Corey Bennett and creating plays for him, even though this is his like third match for the Republic first start. It's good to see that the Republic are trying to integrate him into the attack, and they almost get it off with this attack, but just one offside call will change that.
Yeah, what would have been his first goal at home, right? Which would have been really great for him to get a goal there. But you're right. I mean, he had that. Oh, actually, we're looking at another replay over here, and I don't know if you guys see anything different. I still don't see any. Yeah, but I guess offside. I mean, it's really confusing, right? What the call was, but
You know
would be
what?
nice to know.
The only one that could answer that question himself, Jack the man. So if Jack is listening, can you send us a text message on what that call was? Let us know.
Yeah, because it could have also been, I guess, like, I mean, I know Rion said the play go on, but maybe the linesman just pulled the flag up too late. You realize like, oh crap, you never forgot to put the flag up. They could have been that too, but
And it could have been the official, the center ref saw it. It depends on where. It depends on what play restarted after. So if I remember right, when I was listening to Adam, I think the play restarted with a goal kick, which indicates it wasn't. I couldn't find the mob stuff. Sorry, Rion. I know you did, but I couldn't find it. I think the play restarted with a goal kick. I think, but I'm not 100%. Don't mark my words on that one. Because if the play restarted at midfield with a indirect free kick, then it would have indicated that Jack was offside. But if the play restarted as a goal kick, then that would indicate that the ball went out on the end line.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Jack and figure out exactly what happened there.
How did the play restart after that call? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us were really disappointed at the call. That I didn't even remember exactly how it all was restarted at the time. But let's go ahead and talk about the 3-2 goal that we scored early on in the second half. And I think a lot of us probably thought, oh, the game might be a little different, right? At us getting the goal so early on. But I think the same thing that happened to Oakland happened to us, right? Different halves there. But I got to say in this play, and normally I'm not like praising a referee action because normally it feels like at home they're always against us. But in this case, he let the play go on, right? Because the play starts off with Corey Bennett trying to take on one of the defenders. Defenders actually fouls him. We've seen referees in the past, right? They'll call the foul right away. They won't, do what they have to do, which is allow us to continue the play if it looks like we might get a favorable outcome there. So thankfully he allowed the play to go on, and smartly right here, right? And we know this is why he's the legend, right? Roro spots Russell open. He puts a perfect ball to Russell, and I mean, this is what we're talking about. You gotta do this, right? When you see one of your players open there, you gotta give the ball to him. Now Russell takes his time there, takes on the defender there, and rather than just keep on going on, what does he do? He pulls a shot, right? Which is what we've been asking for a lot of the season is take your shots. You never know what might happen. And would you look at that, right? Russell getting straight up golazo, right? There's no way that anybody, I mean, including Danny himself, they could not stop this shot from going in the net. And he gets the goal and 3-2, and there you go. Russell getting once again another goal against Oakland Roots. This time it wasn't a penalty kick. This time it was a golazo against them. So what do you guys think of this Russell Rocket?
Hey, when you're playing on Golazo Network, you got to do what it say on the tin. So Russell just took him to that. pulled up right to the corner there, deep in territory. He saw he had a chance. He went sniper with it. Just the full send on that shot, got right in the back of the net. And once again, it's just like I mentioned earlier. All Russell does is bang, 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 bang. I mean, with them golazos.
I like that sniper. Pull the sniper on him. That's so perfect.
Yeah, from my perspective, when I was watching this live, I honestly didn't even see that Roro look up, and look ahead at the field. I think he just did that out of pure instinct and knew that Cicerone would be out there somewhere down the field, and I know I could get it to him, and he just pulled a wonderful ball out to Russell, who followed it up with an even more wonderful shot. Like, this is just a crazy sequence of events, and great play from the Republic to open up the second half.
And then we were all hoping and wishing that they would park the bus and let us just get away with a 3-2 win right after the banger. And that didn't work out so well now, did it?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Although I was really hoping that this would actually drive the team to get more goals, right? To have that motivation, right? To say, like, hey, we're winning again. Like, let's make sure we keep the lead. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And so that's how we move on to the goal that was scored for Oakland Roots there. And unfortunately, again, the 85th minute, in this case, after 85th minute, Curse made an appearance again, right? It's been some time since we had that curse happen, but it happened to us here, right? 87th minute in a corner kick of all things. And yeah, it was really annoying to actually see the player, in this case, Jurgen Damm, which those of you who know Liga MX, you might remember him playing in Liga MX for quite some years and Mexico national team, but you can't let a guy like that, and he had literally been subbed in like a few minutes before that. You can't let a guy just have a clear header at goal, right? Like, the guy didn't even have to move at all. As we're looking at the replay here, yeah, the guy was just in his place. He just literally just jumps to the ball, headers it, gets a goal. You can't let a guy not even. I get it when they move, right? When you get a corner kick and you're getting your opponents just moving around, they might just do that, trick one of our defenders and get to it. But you can't have a guy just standing, jump, and get the goal, right? But curious to hear what you guys thought of this unfortunate goal in the last minutes.
When my neighbor texted me, and she never swears, I think she texted me shit. Oh, shit. Yeah, and that was just that feeling of that can't, again, how can that be true? Isn't there a call? Shouldn't there have been a foul against them in the box? Can we please have it back? And there's no return. When you're waiting to see if the officials are going to call something, and then it's like, okay, so who wasn't focused for that last bit of the 90, to let the guy in, let the guy get up and get that header. They've worked on it. This is obviously a practice routine for them.
Yeah, I'm sure Jurgen was thinking all of Heart Health Park was chanting his name after that goal, when in reality it wasn't chanting his name. It was more, damn, 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 as far as letting that goal go through. But, he just manages to worm his way into the right position, gets it past Danny, and it's another tie-up. And unfortunately, that 85th minute curse, which somehow I'm going to have to find some way to sage and get rid of that energy for us. But I don't think Heart Health Park's going to let me do it on the field, so it'll have to be something else.
Yeah, let's talk about the Oakland subs for a second. In this match, you had Wolfgang Prentice come into the match, Danny Trejo, the newest signing, come into the match, Camden Riley, who was center back, who made some excellent runs, come in late, and the goal scorer, Jurgen Damm. Oakland's subbing proved essential for this goal, and great calls by Benny Feilhaber to bring these players in, and it paid off for them. Danny Trejo was dangerous when he came in. They were gunning for it with these subs, and it paid off for them.
I
Yeah.
did. I did enjoy, I shouldn't say I enjoyed watching Danny Trejo, but I was anxious to see how he would play. And he was everything that I think they were looking for. You know, he was he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing when he's out on the pitch. He was pulling some of our guys wide. He was engaging. He was accurate on his touches. And, you know, he received the ball well. He was doing all the right things. And he added positivity to Oakland's game plan.
Yeah. No, he's a great player. I remember him from the States with Phoenix Rising, right? Like he was a top player for them. I actually was surprised that they had him on the bench for Oakland. Like that was shocking to have a player like that there. I mean, if he ever wants to play for Sac Republic, like, hey, like sign him up, you know, because he knows how to play in USL.
It's funny because I think Will Lamb even mentioned way before the season started, when a lot of, you know, movement was going on with players. He was wondering why we didn't try to pick up Danny Trejo, you know, because I think there was an opportunity for that. So I think it was Danny. He'll let us know if I'm right or wrong, but he was very concerned, and there was somebody else that he was a little concerned that we didn't pick up in the beginning of the season, but. Defensively, you know, getting Freddie Kleeman and, you know, Spalding and AJ, those were decent pickups. So can't complain.
Yeah, it would have been another Danny. That would have been the case, which would have been, once again, the League of Dannies.
It could well have been. I mean, because I know Danny had become a free agent during the offseason. Previously, he was playing for a higher league in Poland, but suddenly became eligible for USL. Birmingham picked him up, and I thought that was going to send Birmingham up to the top 4 instantly, but unfortunately that was not the case. Perhaps he didn't fit Mark Briggs' system out there in Birmingham. So ultimately, Oakland picked him up, and you know he is from California originally, so this is kind of a homecoming for him, so to speak, especially with the cryptic Instagram story that I know a lot of folks in the Discord were saying, oh, he's going to be signed by Republic, he's going to be signed by Orange County, this, that, and everything like that. And I figured, no, it's not going to be Republic FC, because we would have heard rumblings if that were true. I mean, but I got more of an idea that he would end up playing for Oakland, especially since it's just a couple days before the match. So Oakland was definitely doing some sneaky stuff, but you know, it's not the first time for them.
Yeah. Well, one last thing I want to talk about in the school. I know, Sharon, you were saying that your neighbor was texting you if there was any foul. Well, there wasn't any foul from the Roots players to our players, but there was something that I noticed as you guys know, as I watch the replays, there's little details that pop up with how many times we watch them here. But there was an instance that had Georgia not gotten the goal, could have been a penalty kick for Oakland. And you guys could see, I kind of stopped it right here in this frame. Chibi is actually pulling the jersey of one of the Oakland Roots players there. And it's something that really annoys me when I see this done by any of our players, but we can't have any jerseys being pulled at all. When you're in the box, don't you dare do any of that, because we know how the USL referees are, and any small pulling of a jersey could be a penalty, which, I mean, in the rules of the game, it is a penalty, right? I mean, you're impeding an opposing player from having an opportunity at scoring. So we got to watch out for that, because situations like that could ruin a playoff, could get us out of a playoff game, and it just should never be done. You should never have that, especially when a referee could see it right there. So I'm just saying, if it wouldn't have been a goal, let's not be surprised if the referee calls a penalty in that situation. So that was that. But that's how the game ended. 3-3 was the result. At the end of the day, true, we get a point and we move on, right? We're still in an unbeaten streak of sorts here. So before we look at the post-match, the conference that we usually cover here, and we'll have it here in video form for you guys watching in video, I wanted to share something that Nate Conkle, who you guys know is one of our listeners here on the podcast, that wrote to us. And so let me go ahead and put up here on the screen. So reading here, so Nathan tells us, "Hi, fabulous podcasters. I hope this email finds you doing well after a rivalry draw. Thank you kindly for all the insights you give, not only about Republic, but also about the Sacramento teams. Your insights are very, very valuable. For last game, I believe that the Roots are an inconsistent team, and the Republic played against the Roots at their best. I also think that even though this was Danny Trejo's first game with the Roots, he had a positive influence on the team, and I expect the Roots will play more consistently better this season. With that said, I witnessed the Republic get behind the defense consistently for the first time this season. From my memory being at the game, I believe that Bennett twice, Willey, and Cicerone all got behind the defense at some point and had a sprint towards the goalie. I am thinking that this is evidence of the effect Bennett is having on the team, especially since he started this game. I think he opens up the game for the Republic, giving opposing defenses something else to consider when preparing for the Republic. What are your thoughts?" Sharon?
Aha! I found the right button. I have to agree with that. I think Louis Jamieson also does the same thing. He opens up the defense. He works to get behind the defense a lot more. And I think when we know that Corey Bennett and others are working to get behind the defense, it forces the rest of our team to go into a more of a press mode versus a defense mode. So I think we play a little differently with him than we do when Seba is, playing his 9 position, so to speak. So I think it'll just take time. We have different looks depending on who's on the field, which is kind of exciting for all of us. And when we see Louis Jamieson or Corey Bennett on the field, we know that the horses are going to run and that we're going to get behind the defense of the opposition. Now, that being said, we've seen Jack Gurr get behind them with a cross, which basically forces our players to frame the goal mouth well. And we've seen Michel is more of a cut inside kind of a guy. He does get around the corner, but I think Jack with his whip does that a little bit more consistently, So, and what I was listening to while you guys were talking about things is nobody knew what that one call was. The flag went up at the end line, but it was waved off when Jack crossed the ball to Corey Bennett, and it got waved off. And then the half ended. The pundits, our broadcasters didn't even know what the call was. So it wasn't clear. The call was not clear to the broadcasters.
Yeah.
But anyhow, getting behind. I like what Nate says. Yep.
Yeah. Once again, shout out to Nate for sending us a contact form. Right on time, Nate. Thank you. I saw the comment come through here right before. It was a few hours before we recorded here, but thank you so much. And again, for everyone listening or watching, go ahead and send us your comments if you have any comments, especially after the game. Just make sure you do it not too late on a Sunday night, because otherwise we'll already be recording when the comment arrives here. But yeah, I agree with you, Nate. I think, having Corey on the team is a really great addition. And yesterday, he was doing good. He did actually help us have a few opportunities, and he does open up the game. All right, well, let's go ahead and
actually
move on. Or
sorry, I just want to chip in a little bit here. I just want to talk about the Roots a little bit and what they've been up to. Like, since Benny Harbor has taken over for them in their 9 matches previous to this match, they got 4 wins and 4 losses. It's a little bit of an feast or famine mode for Oakland right now, but they still have a lot to play for. They're only a couple points outside of the playoffs, and they have more weapons with Danny Trejo now. Like, they've proved that they can score. It's just a question of the defense. But that's Oakland.
Yeah. No, they have a good team. They clearly showed it yesterday, and we'll see. I think now with Danny being added to their team, they're going to be a much stronger team. They might even be more consistent with their form. All right, well, let's take a look at, or if you're listening to the post-match conference. There's a few different players, including coach, that were a part of this one. Can you guys hear?
Chances in the game. Funny enough, I think both teams will out and go. We were both pretty clinical. I thought we scored 3 wonderful goals. And of course, we'll be very disappointed with a couple of the ones that we conceded. Really pleased. We've not been behind. I don't know the last time that we were behind, but we came back. I really thought we were going to see it out. To lose to a set piece, disappointing. So a couple of things to definitely digest. Thought it was always going to be an awkward game, and it proved that way, and we just didn't quite manage to get it over the line. So a little frustrated right now to drop a couple of points, but this team over the past couple of years hasn't had a reputation from coming from behind. So tonight we did that, and we didn't, as I say, they quite managed to get over the line. But listen, the boys have been on it, and it's another point. I think it's just the group's gone through. Early in the season, it was late goals. Well, they've shown quite clearly over the last 2 or 3 months that they can deal with that. That we've had the clean sheets, we've seen out the wins. The only real question that I knew was going to come up is going behind, and I thought we answered that really, really well tonight. And maybe didn't quite see out the game as well as we have others, but I would give a bit of credit to Oakland. I thought they were adventurous. They were open. We looked like we could maybe get another one in a transition. They looked like threats. They put a lot of balls in the box. I think it was just one of those games. You just sometimes get them. I think. Listen, the big thing I ask my players all the time is, can we get better every day? Feel individually we're seeing that. I think Cristian's a great example of that. Like getting better. You look Russell tonight, superb. So individually, everyone's improving, and then collectively, you just have to go through all these moments together, good, bad, and indifferent. And where the group's been really good, they've been really willing to learn, and that's where I think it's evolved, and that we can come from behind, we can see out late games, and listen, we're going to have more challenges between now and the end of the season, but I think we're becoming a good team that can solve a lot of different problems, and we're going to have more. Certainly, got a few road games to come up, and I'm sure that will throw up different things that will challenge us. I think that's fair. I look at the first goal that we conceded tonight, bit fortuitous, couple of little mistakes, and the ball kind of bounces in the net. We've not really had that happen. But maybe sometimes when you keep clean sheets, you don't even think about moments that bounce past the post. Tonight, it went the other side. As I say, we've not been guilty of giving up goals and set pieces. Tonight, we did. So you're right. Derby games, rivalry games, sometimes form goes out the window. We just need to make sure, we learn any lessons that we think, but then not overanalyze that too much.
Yeah, no, that last statement you mentioned about derby games and that happening. Yeah, I mean, how many times have we seen, not just with Sac, right, but just thinking in the sport in general, right? Teams that aren't doing as good in one season, they get to the rivalry game and they end up actually being the shocker, right, and getting the 3 points. So, yeah, that does happen everywhere.
And he kind of confirmed what I said in the very beginning of it looked like we were playing, I don't want to say the word stiff, but we lose form. He said that, we sometimes lose form during, the derbies, the rivalry matches, because it means a lot. These rivalries honestly mean an awful lot. Now, I don't want to look ahead, but we've got Loudoun coming up on Wednesday. So let's hear what the other interviews are. And Luis, you can edit if it's getting long in the tooth and the interviews aren't yielding. If they're redundant, the questions and the responses are redundant, you can cut them off. It's fine. Yeah.
And I will say the video version is a little bit longer, though. The video version will be longer. The podcast will be really significantly cut. So people are hearing our responses here, but they actually will not be on the podcast. So, that's how we'll manage that. So that's how that'll be. But let's go ahead and listen to Cristian Parano. Part of it is in Spanish, I will say that. But yeah, he gets the questions asked in English and then he answers in Spanish, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It would be nice if we could hear the questions, though we can't really hear them.
Bueno, fue un partido muy difícil, la verdad. Un partido muy apretado. Sabíamos que iba a ser así. Un rival difícil, pero bueno, creo que merecíamos más. Pero bueno, nos fuimos con ese sabor amargo, con el empate, pero bueno, creo que es algo positivo y bueno, y ahora tenemos que seguir mejorando bueno, y pensar en lo que viene en el futuro. Creo que ahora lo más importante es el miércoles, los cuartos de final, entonces enfocarse para eso.
Does it help having a game so soon to kind of look past and start new after this game?
Can you repeat that,
Yeah.
please?
So with the game on Wednesday,
Mhm.
only a few days away, does it help to be able to switch your focus to the next game so quickly?
Sí, obviamente, el fútbol es así, es parte del juego. Tenemos que... ¿Miro ahí o aquí? Where I look. Ok. Es parte del juego. El fútbol es así.
Part of
Creo
the game.
que las alegrías en el fútbol son muy cortas, entonces a veces cuando se gana hay que festejar, o cuando se empata, analizar qué hicimos bien y qué no hicimos bien, y bueno, enfocarse en el miércoles.
Yeah.
Y nada, yo creo que estamos en un muy buen momento como equipo, y bueno, tenemos que estar juntos como equipo.
He's saying that wins are short-lived in the sport, which is true.
Bueno, obviamente en lo personal me siento muy contento, me siento muy honrado de estar aquí. Creo que tenemos un muy buen equipo. Este equipo me está ayudando mucho. Yo creo que en esa parte el equipo me está ayudando a poder sacar mi mejor versión cada día, cada momento. Entonces creo que se hace todo más fácil así, ¿no? Entonces, muy contento. Espero poder seguir mejorando, poder seguirle dando alegrías a la gente y quién dice, ¿no? Poder salir campeón y poder entregarle una copa a Sacramento que tanto se lo merece, ¿no?
Yeah. He has good mentality there at the end about
Yeah, he
wanting
says
to
we have,
give the-
we have a good team, and we'll I understood
¿Puedes
that.
repetir?
Yeah, and I think going back to what Coach
Las
Collins
cosas
was saying,
positivas,
right?
¿no?
Like he's
Creo que fue
really up to his
un
game.
muy buen partido. Fue un muy buen partido para nosotros. Está bien tu español, ¿eh? Muy bien, ¿eh? Fue un muy buen partido para nosotros. Creo que si hubiéramos ganado el partido 3-2, se hubiera hablado de una manera distinta. Entonces, bueno, el fútbol es así, es parte del juego. Al último minuto nos metieron el gol, pero bueno, como te digo, creo que estamos por buen camino y tenemos un equipo que está muy fuerte.
Yeah, shout out to the reporter at the end. Actually asking him the question in Spanish too. So that's great. Now let's go ahead and listen to Russell
I
Cicerone.
think we did a lot of good things, but we did a lot of poor stuff too. Gave the ball away too easily. Conceding 3 goals at home is not really acceptable. And then on a set piece in the final few minutes, it's just not in our DNA, and we got to learn from it. We got to grow from it.
You talk about that moment you scored the goal. You've been creating a lot of chances that haven't come back in a couple months. But it looked like that meant something. Talk about what was going through your mind in that time.
Yeah, I think I've been playing really good lately, and I just haven't been getting the end product. But I've been really happy with my play, and the coaching staff has, and they told me to keep going. It's coming, and Roro played a great ball, and I got myself in a good 1v1 situation. I hit a great shot.
How do you feel about just where the team is, given where it started with you at the beginning of the year to where we are now going into the play?
Yeah, I think obviously we're much, much better. I think we're growing a lot. Chemistry's growing a lot. We know what's expected every minute of every game. A little bit of a letdown today, but we're getting better every day, and I think it's super positive, but definitely a lot of growth.
Back and forth match with probably biggest closest rival. What was the energy like on the field tonight?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a battle. This derby always is, and I think we could have done a little bit better in the duels and stuff like that. And I don't know. It was a battle. We did some good stuff. We did some bad stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some tape.
Yeah, and it's cool that he doesn't always just say the good things, right? But he also says, yeah, there are things that could have been better. And now
Russell's quite the critic of his own squad. He reminds me a little bit of Keko. Keko had that same philosophy, because these kind of guys, they expect everybody to put in the same effort that they do all the time. So they're kind of they're brethren in the sport, so to speak.
Oh yeah, and you gotta have that. You gotta have some players that are like that, and it's great that Russell is one of those. And then last but not least, Blake Willey here.
Yeah, it was a tough team. We started off a little slow, conceded early, but I thought we fought well, scored 3 goals, just final actions. That separates the win and the tie right there.
Yeah, and what are you guys looking to do just, on the game? You scored 3 goals, which is a lot
Mhm.
better than you guys have been doing all season. Also,
Yeah.
What do you think that comes down to?
I think just concentration. Like, we don't normally concede on set pieces. I think we just got to stay a little more focused in the dying minutes of the game. And, yeah, that'll secure us the 3-2 win if we do that.
Like, ties for third assists, and you're the first one from third to get 3 assists for the team. How does it feel to continue to be able to grow in your role and make contributions on the field?
Yeah, I mean, stats always are a big part of the game. And every time I can get another stat, it just shows my growth. And I'm happy to contribute to the team whenever I can.
And in a physical game like this, what are you trying to do in the midfield? Just like preserve your presence?
Just keep the ball moving, and then on defensively, just try to make a hard tackle and like get the ball back for our team. And then on the ball, just keep moving and try to get assists and shots on goal and stuff like that.
Sold out crowd, big rivalry game. As someone that grew up coming to games, how was it to be on the field in this game tonight?
Yeah, the fans from both teams were electric tonight, and I feel like that translates to the game. It makes the energy on the field go up more. So it's really fun, and especially to represent my hometown, it's really cool.
Yeah, that last thing, it's nice for him to say that, and for other academy players who are from the area to, get that inspiration, right? Like, to think that at one point Blake was going to games just admiring, the players on the pitch, and now he gets to be right there, right, playing with the pros. So that was really cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to talking about the standings. How are they looking like with this tie? So moving on to here, the Western Conference. So nothing's really changed for us in terms of the position on the table. We're still in second place, but first place, you got FC Tulsa, 39 points. They have one more game played than we do, though. So in the event that we do win our next match and we catch up in games played with them, then we could potentially just be 5 points away from them. But they're moving away, so we need to be conscious of that if we're trying to go up for first place there. But below us, you got Uncle Ruckus and El Paso, both of them with 19 points, 28 points, so 3 points behind us with the same games played. You got to take a note there of El Paso, though, because that's going to be our rival next Saturday. So critical game. You win, you move up 6 points, you lose, and guess what? They're right next to you there. So I know the players are going to have that in mind when they play against them on Saturday. And then below El Paso, you got Orange County in 5th, New Mexico in 6th, both teams with 18 points. With 18 games played there. 27 points for Orange County, 26 for New Mexico. Then in 7th and 8th, you got both Lexington and Phoenix, both with 20 games played and 25 points. And then out of the playoffs, you got Colorado with 24 points, 19 games. Monterey Bay, 21 games, 23 points. Oakland, who we just played, 19 games played, 21 points. And then still in last place, you got Las Vegas Lights with 20 matches played and 20 points there. So, again, as we keep saying every week, standings are still really close. Teams aren't that far from one another. So we got to keep getting those points. You can't lose. And if you have a game where you're winning, you can't lose those points because, again, it could be a really critical situation there at the end of the season in terms of standings, home advantage for playoffs, a lot of things in play at the end.
So I have to interject. The way that the Western Conference reminds me of the freeways in Los Angeles, always congested. It's just too congested. We need to get them spread out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's in our hands, right? FC Tulsa's doing their part, 39 points, getting away from everyone. This is our opportunity. We got to be like FC Tulsa right now. And I never thought I'd ever say that, but FC Tulsa having a breakout season this year. But we need to continue to get those points, get away from our opponents. And any team we play against in the Western Conference is a team that could be, a danger to us later in the season in terms of the standings and in breaking the tie, right? We broke it with Uncle Ruckus, right? They win and we tie and we're above them, but we got to do the same with other teams, especially with El Paso being our opponent on Saturday. You got to try and get that.
I can't wait to get to podcast winner dinner. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. I'm not looking so forward as much as forward to that, but we are going to get to that. But first, let's just talk about our upcoming opponents and what their recent form is like. So Loudoun United, we're going to be playing against them in the Cup in the quarterfinals. What is the recent form looking like? Well, yesterday they actually beat Indy 11 3-2. Before that, they tied against Rhode Island 0-0. Before that, lost against FC Tulsa at Tulsa 3-2.
Scroll up a
and-
little higher. We're blocking.
Oh,
We were
okay.
blocking it.
You guys are blocking that? All right, here you go.
There you.
Thanks for letting
Yeah.
me know, because
There you
our
go.
screen is a little congested here. But here you go. Let me go ahead and remove the banner around here. But yeah, so those are some of their last games. If you look at USL Cup, North Carolina beat them in penalties 5-3. They tied 1-1. Then before that, they lost at home against Oakland Roots 2-0 was the scoreline. So yeah, there's a team that hasn't really gotten that much wins as of late. I mean, again, yesterday they got the win, but we know that they've been a team that has been a little surprising this year in the Eastern Conference. So we got to watch out for that, because they are trying to make a name for themselves, and USL Cup is where you do it, especially when it comes to quarterfinals, because you're really close to getting to the final.
Yeah,
So-
it's one and done at this point. It's no more group play. So they got 2 goals against FC Tulsa, which is kind of strange. So, they have the ability. And remember, one of the former Sac Republic players, Drew Skundrich, plays for Loudoun.
Yeah, so we got to be careful for that, because we know he's quite an experienced player. Played briefly with DC United as well, right? Back when Loudoun used to be like their farm team, right? Until the whole separation between MLS happened. And so we'll see what happens there. But game is going to be on Wednesday, August 20th. Start time 4 p.m. So early start time for y'all. Check it out. We'll see how things go again. They tie. Now, Rion might know more of this too, but if they tie, do they go directly to penalty kicks, or are we looking at extra time, or what are the
I should have
rules
looked this up. I want to say it's penalty kicks, but I'm not confident on that.
Okay, I would imagine the same, just because that's how they've been doing it for the group play. Extra time seems a bit too much to ask, especially when these teams have a lot of games going on. I mean, we have quite the travel going on, so I would hope they would go directly to penalty kicks. That seems like it would be the most fairest thing. But let us know if you happen to
My
see something.
AI says the quarterfinals are single elimination knockout round where matches tied after 90 minutes proceed directly to PKs shootout. So yes, PKs.
Perfect. There you go. So I'm glad that that's the situation. So that's Loudoun. Now that is Wednesday. We move on to Saturday. Saturday we actually play in Texas against El Paso. I don't know, Sharon, the travel plans that they've done in the past. I'm assuming
they're not coming home.
They're not coming home, right? Okay, that's what I would assume, that they wouldn't.
I don't think so, because you figure it's going to be late night Wednesday night. Thursday morning is travel day. So why would they travel to Sacramento and then all the way back to El Paso? So they're going to go straight to El Paso.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was assuming. I was like, an extra hotel night. I mean, you're playing out in USL Cup, but still, Wednesday's game might be a little intense, right? So I'm assuming we're going to see some rotation there to help with that. But Saturday's game against El Paso, start time at 6 p.m. For that one. And El Paso yesterday, they tied 2-2 against Monterey at home. Before that, they tied at Miami FC 0-0. Before that, they actually beat Las Vegas Lights with a 6-0 match. They outbeat us there with Las Vegas, so we know they clearly know how to score, especially against Las Vegas. And then before that, they had 2 USL Cup matches, beating that Union Omaha that we all remember from Open Cup, 1-0 at Union Omaha. And then before that, they tied against Phoenix Rising at home 2-2 and lost in penalties 7-6. And then before that, as we all remember, they traveled out to Sacramento and lost 3-0. So basically in this match, all we got to do is make sure that if we end up losing, that they don't beat us by more than that. So we beat them in the tiebreaker. But of course, we need to get the points. Don't just rely on that. But it's nice to have a 3-0 advantage over them in the overall games between both squads to define any tiebreakers potentially. But that is their recent form. So I mean, there's a team that hasn't lost. I mean, if you don't count that penalty kick loss in USL Cup, they haven't lost since we played against them. So, hey, it might be a good thing for us, but they did beat Las Vegas Light 6-0, so can't be too confident over that, right? So that is that. Again, start time for that is 6 p.m. This Saturday. So, let's go ahead and move on to what Sharon's been just hoping to move on, probably since we started recording. This is the time where she did good in the podcast winner dinner, and also Rian and Jared as well. Maybe not as well as Sharon, but you guys are still doing well in standings. So let's go ahead and share with the audience, especially if you're watching on video, our spreadsheet. I call it a crazy spreadsheet because we have a bunch going on here.
Good. Scroll.
Here it is.
Can't see anything.
Let's go ahead and scroll up here. Right up there. There you go. Okay, we're on the screen there. So in this last match against Oakland, just a few points were given out. So Sharon got 1 point from Oakland getting the yellow card. Jared got 2 points from Roro getting the first goal. He had faith in Roro getting a consecutive goal. And we know Jared has been, pretty loyal sometimes with, predicting the same player getting the first goal again. Also said Oakland would get the first yellow card, and then Rian also gave Oakland the first yellow card. I said Sacramento. Unfortunately, we actually had a referee that wasn't at his usual self there for the yellow cards. So with that, we move on to standings. Let me go ahead and move up here so we could look at that. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully it's showing up on the screen. Yes, it is. So Sharon is first, still 24 points. But now Jared and Rian are back and sharing the second place with 23 points there. And I'm still in the basement. Jared was a roommate for just a week. I'm back solo roommate. No roommates there. 21 points. But again, we're all still close there. But Sharon, Jared, and Rian are right there. They're trying to get to you again. So we'll see how things go this upcoming week.
I feel the heat.
There's a lot of points to be given too, right? Because again, 2 matches, and we know USL Cup has a lot of points to be awarded.
And this is hard because the squad could rotate. It could easily be a rotated squad for both matches. So this is going to be a real hard to pick.
Yeah, it will be. But thankfully, especially for assists, we have a backup there. And for those of you watching, we know the 2 goal scorers there could be any goal scorer. That's the rules for USL Cup. For Championship, it's a little different. It's a backup. But here, you predict 2 players. They could score at any point in the game, and you'll get a point. So Loudoun against Sac. We'll go in opposite order for the El Paso game. So Sharon, you want to go first with your predictions?
Yeah, so I have us winning 2-1. Sorry, Danny Videola, but I think they're going to squeak one in on us. But I have faith that we're going to win. My goal scorers are Seba and Roro, just because we're riding the Roro high. The assist is going to be Jack or Michelle if Jack doesn't see the pitch, and Loudoun's going to get the first yellow. And Freddie, I'm not going to be picking you because I'm going to pick Jared Timmer, not Jared Mazzola, not Podcast Magic. Although he could get a yellow, but whatever. Not picking him. Not
well,
Magic.
I was going to say he did get a yellow from the bench earlier this season. So
he did just last game or game before last. I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, I think last game. Yeah, because I remember he was on the bench, and the people were applauding. Actually, we were playing them there. Actually, no, maybe it wasn't the last game because I didn't go to the game against Monterey. So yeah, maybe it was the one before that. I remember. Sure. Yeah, being there. Right. Now, if they go to penalty kicks, who wins?
Oh, PKs, that's us.
Okay. All right, Jared.
All right. Well, I'm going to say Loudoun does prove to be pretty confident. I am also going to say 2-1. Republic ends up winning. Goal-wise, I'm feeling Russell is going to get it. And if he doesn't see the pitch for some reason, I am going to go with Cristian Parano.
Well, two options, yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah,
there's no backup.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so bearing this in mind, and since yes, I forgot it's a either or. You know, I'm gonna go with Roro again for the second choice because he's probably gonna get that third in a row. As far as assists, I am gonna go with Roro. He's hungry for an assist, and I am gonna say Blake Willey for the backup on that. First yellow, I am gonna say it'll go against Loudoun, and then our first yellow. I'm thinking for some reason it's going to end up being against. Is it got to be a good one?
Who's a hothead?
Yeah,
Russell.
you know what? I'm feeling that. So yeah, I'll go with Russell. I was going to go with Luis Felipe, but I got a feeling they're going to rotate the squad for this match.
Yeah, and then for penalty winner.
Penalty. I'm going to say Sac ends up winning.
All right. Well, for mine, you know what? We have a game on Saturday. I feel like coach is going to prioritize that game. So I'm actually going to go with the 1-1 tie. And this is, again, they would go to penalty kicks. 1-1 tie would be the score, right? Regardless of who wins penalty kicks. So just a clarification there. But for 2 goal scorers, I'm actually going to go with, let's see. I have a feeling that Lewis actually might start this match. So I'm going to go with Lewis as one. And for the other one, I'm gonna go with we'll go with Russell. For the assist, I'm gonna go with Jack. And if he doesn't see the pitch, then I'm gonna go with let's see. I'm gonna go with Roro for that. And then for first yellow card, I think Sac gets the first yellow card. For the player getting the first yellow card, I'm gonna go with Freddie. Sorry, Freddie, but you got me a point last time in the Cubs, so I'm gonna go with you again. And then if there's penalties, then I think Sac gets the win. Danny gets a few saves, and we get the win there. Rian.
You're muted.
Thanks, Sharon. So here's the thing with my predictions. I'm all prepared for Loudoun. I have nothing prepared for El Paso. So this is a little on the fly for El Paso when we get to them. But for Loudoun, the player to watch for is Abdelatif Abdulkora. He is in the hunt for the Golden Boot in the USL Championship, just one off from the leader. But Sacramento versus Loudoun as a matchup, Sacramento has a perfect record right now, 3 wins out of 3. I'm going to go with a Sac 2-1 win. I feel like you guys are copying my homework a little bit here with these score lines. But for goal scorers, I'm going to go with Corey Bennett as my first and Cristian Parano as my second. For assist, I'm going to go with Russell as my first and Blake as my backup. For first yellow, I'm going to go with Sac. For the first player to draw the yellow, I'm going to go with Michelle. And
He's
for
hot
penalty kicks, I'm going to go with Sacramento winning.
So, Luis, you said something about Danny. What if it's Jared Mazzola in the cage because he's been Cup Magic for us?
Oh, you're right. You know what? I didn't even remember that part. Yeah, it might actually, in all likelihood, be Jared. Yeah, but I'm sure he's learning from Danny, and he knows, how to block penalty kicks too, right? So
he's good.
Yeah, I could see him, being prepared for the challenge, So, yeah,
Okay.
Interesting that you 3 picked that 2-1. I'm be rooting for a different winning score, so that way it doesn't hurt me in the standings there. But we'll see how things go for the USL Cup there. Now let's go ahead and move on to the El Paso game. Again, rules are different only for the goal scorers. You have your backup. It's not either or. So this time we'll go in reverse order. So Rihanna, I know you didn't have anything really quite yet, so go ahead and be on the fly on this one.
So this is all off the gut. I have no stats to back this up. We saw El Paso recently in the season where we won 3-0. The players to watch for El Paso are Armando Moreno, Gabriel Torres. They're Armando's leading the team for goals. Gabriel Torres is leading for assists. El Paso is not a happy hunting ground for the Republic. Out of the 6 games we played in El Paso, we've only won once. I'm gonna go with a 0-1 El Paso win. Just basing off rotation, it's gonna be a busy week. I have nothing against form here. For goal scorers, I'm gonna go with Seba as my goal scorer, and backup will be Roro. Sure, why not? Let's go for him. I have no idea how this squad is gonna rotate for this team. For assist, I'm gonna go with Jack, and backup will be Nick Ross. I'm just throwing names at the board right now.
Spitball.
For first yellow, let's see where they are in the standings for the yellow cards. Where is El Paso? They're 45 yellow cards versus 48 for Sacramento. I'm gonna go with Sacramento getting first yellow. And for the player, I'm gonna go with Blake. Sure, why not? Let's throw his name out there.
All right. For mine, I'm actually gonna go with the 2-2 tie. I think the game is gonna be so much different than it was in the last game. Remember last game, Armando Moreno wasn't in the pitch, right? I think it was serving a suspension, I think, if I don't remember. So
Right.
I think this game's going to be a little different there, and it's a different El Paso, of course, I feel like. For the first goal scorer, as Rian said, it will be challenging for these predictions because we have no idea which rotation will happen, especially with the other one being the quarterfinals. So never know where coach might be thinking of doing rotations, but I have a feeling for this one, we're going to see Russell get the first goal. And if he doesn't see the pitch, then I'm going to go with Corey Bennett on that one. For the first assist, I'm going to go with AJ. I have a feeling that AJ might actually start this match. And if he doesn't see the pitch, then I'll go with Jack. First yellow card, I'm going to go with El Paso. And then for the first player to get the yellow card, I'm going to go with Lee Desmond. Jared.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay. Well, Rian definitely brings up a good point as far as El Paso's field, being a field of woe for us, only winning one time. So I'm not really expecting a whole lot as far as this goes, but hopefully a win. And I'm going to hopefully once again say, prove me wrong, but for some reason I'm going to see a 2-1 El Paso win squeak by. As far as that goes. As far as goals go, I'm going to say Lee Desmond gets one in somehow. And if he doesn't see the pitch, I am going to go with, you know what? I am going to go with Michel Benitez. And as far as assists, I'm probably just going to go Blake Willey. And if for some reason that doesn't happen, I am going to go with Seba for my backup. Yellow card, there's definitely going to be some home cooking involved, so I'm going to say Sac gets the first yellow. And then that one, he's going to kill me for this. I'm going to say Freddie.
So on my predictions, you guys, we're all over the map because we don't know how the rotation is going to look. And I have like 4 people that I wanted to pick as the goal scorers. And I've got a question mark by Corey and by Lewis because is he going to throw in a rotated squad against Loudoun, which would mean that maybe Lewis is going to start or Corey, or is he going to play the original starting 11 against Loudoun and gun hard for getting out of the quarterfinals? And then play a little bit more of a rotated squad starting in El Paso. Who the heck knows? Can somebody please just call the coach right now and ask him what his strategy is, please? Just give him a call and then I'll answer. Okay? All right. No, I know you're not going to do that for me. So for El Paso, my gut says we're going to win it 1-0. However, let's be real. It's probably going to be 1-1 because we're going to see a player play against us that we didn't see when they played us. And he's probably, unless he gets some kind of a suspension during the week, we're going to see him. He won't get a suspension. He's not suspended right now. Okay, so then my goal scorer is it a rotated squad. I'm taking a stab, and I'm going to go with Russell. And then my backup is Lewis. Was going to be Christian, but who knows. Assist is going to go Blake. Backup is Michelle. And Sac is going to pull the first yellow. Thank you, Freddie. You're going to be my pick. You're back in.
Oh, 2 Freddie picks in 1 week. Well, that's something that and we invite our listeners or our new watchers too, I guess, now since we're on video, to chime in and let us know, right? What do you think? Do you think Coach will do a rotated squad for Wednesday? Is he going to play like all the starters on Wednesday? What would you do if you were a coach? And so I pass that same question to you guys. You're Coach Collins. What do you do on Wednesday?
What do you do? Are you gunning for getting out of the quarterfinals and winning? And who do you put on the field? And then you have a day of rest, essentially. And even then, you're still going to have a light training session when you get to El Paso. And then you'll have another light training session on Friday. It's stinking hot. It's 90 some odd degrees during the day. And it only cools down to 72 at night. I was looking at the weather. I was cheating. That when you see me looking away, I'm either looking at stats or looking at something like that. So, yeah, the weather is not. Jared can attest. I know El Paso's quite a ways away from where you live, but when it's 90s in Texas, it's drippy.
Yeah, it feels. And having gone through El Paso as well for the move, I can confirm that 90 degrees is much different than 90 degrees in Sacramento. I mean, you just want to dunk yourself into a big old bathing tub or something like that to get all the ick off, because in Sacramento it eventually evaporates. That's not the case in Texas, especially in western Texas, which El Paso, of course, being right across the border from Juarez. And yeah, there's just a whole bunch of ick given the weather out there.
But yeah, to answer your question, Luis, I would honestly gun for getting out of the quarterfinals. You know, you're 3 matches away from a trophy. Why not take that chance?
Yeah. No, exactly, right. I mean, I agree with you. It's now or nothing. It's easier to get a cup in the USL Cup than in championship right now, right? You're much closer on that regard. And so you just got to give it your all, because there's one trophy that is closer to us, and championship, we'll see, right? We'll see where we end up. So, it's now or never, right? And especially with it being the first cup or championship teams are involved, you want to try and get it, right? It's our first shot at getting that, and we'll forever remember Coach Collins, right? If he gives us our second trophy, because if I'm not mistaken, the final is going to be before the USL final, right? I mean, the cup final, it's can you confirm that, Rian? I don't know if you have the date or the approximate dates for the final. So I'm pretty sure it would be before a USL Championship final. So what's at stake.
You don't even give Rian a chance to voice text to his phone. When is, so AI can generate the response.
Rian is the AI, right? He should.
that guy sitting right there. It's just it's a bot.
Rian is the AI.
And we can't hear him. Everybody likes your giggles, Rian, and now you're muted.
Here, I might be able to unmute him. Yeah, I can unmute
there
him.
He is. This is a thing I should know. I apparently don't have a approximate date for the final. Yeah, I have no idea. I'd assume it'd be before the actual championship final, maybe even before a playoff start.
Yeah. And for our listeners, if you're watching on video, you could probably see it too. Sharon's actually asking AI right now, and I just I just saw that on the screen there, so we'll find out here shortly which one of the two it is. But yeah, I mean, if I was coach, that's what I would do. Jared, we haven't heard from you in that regards. What would you do if you're Coach Collins?
Well, I mean, we're playing against El Paso. We're already unpredictable, to say the least, as far as this goes. So it's really difficult to kind of pin down the style, especially when you're playing on their field. So I'm thinking they're probably going to lean more toward. He's going to lean more towards the USL Cup. There's obviously a lot more progress there, and also taking on Loudoun. Loudoun has been tailing off a little bit during midseason. They've had a great run earlier on in the season, but I can start to see the gas fumes kind of start bubbling up a little bit here and there for Loudoun. So I definitely say he's going to gear more towards the big names on Loudoun, and then just having the second set take the field on Saturday, so everyone gets a good rest. So that's how I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, no, I think again, we want to hear what the listeners and the watchers.
Okay, I have the approximate date for the weekend of October 11th will be the final.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah, much before, a little less than a month before playoffs start with USL. So, yeah, I mean, the timing of that is kind of interesting, right? The two teams that make it to the final, they might be like trying to get into the playoffs or trying to stay in playoffs. So, we'll see what the circumstances for those teams. But yeah, I mean, you're close to it. Get to it, right? Get us a cup before like that. That'd be a big situation for us to get a cup there, and we're that close to it, really close, right? Because it's, as we know, USL Cup, it's both conferences, it's quarterfinals for everything. It's not quarterfinals for Western Conference, so you're really close to that trophy. And yeah, but we'll see how things go on Wednesday and what he decides as that happens. But anyhow,
speaking of cups, I'm going to interject real quick. Okay. So just for clarification, the Heli Cup created by the supporters groups from Monterey, Oakland, and us, and it was kind of our dream, our TVB's dream up. They dreamt it up. The standings for the Heli Cup for us is we've got 2 wins and a tie, and the trophy, whatever it is, I don't even know if there's going to be one, will rest with the supporter group that where their teams have won. So we've got a win against Monterey, a win against Oakland, and a tie against Oakland. So our final match is September 27th in Monterey, and that'll determine for us what our standings will be for the Heli Cup, which was on the TIFO that everybody saw over the weekend. So
now, does that also include the Monterey Oakland games?
Yeah. So there's So there's whatever their standings are. I didn't look. I just wanted to say what our standings were for it. So we've got 2 wins and a tie. So, and it's all I don't even know how they've structured it, TVB, but I'm bragging. We got 2 wins and a tie. We go to Monterey, we beat them, then 3 wins and 1 tie. So, yeah.
We're that close to getting that cup. Yeah, I'm glad they started that. Yeah, that's a cool thing. The
team does not. The team gets credit, but they don't get the trophy. The supporters groups get the trophy.
Okay, I have the standing for their matchup. Monterey won their first matchup 3-2, and they'll play again in the season on August 30th.
So they could actually, this is getting juicy. Because they beat Oakland. So Oakland has a loss and a tie. No, a loss, 2 losses and a tie. We've got 2 wins and a tie, and Monterey has a win, a loss. Wait, what am I missing?
No, yeah, that's it. Because they still have to play 1 more against us and 1 more against Oakland.
Okay. All righty. She rubs her hands together. It's gleeful. I love this NorCal rivalry.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We play against Monterey out in Monterey. All right, y'all. last final parting words here before we say good morning, good night, whenever you're listening or now watching, and then you'll get to see us or hear us next week.
Hey, go Wilton Rancheria on the groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow, Monday morning. So whenever you're listening to this, you may be listening to it after the groundbreaking has already occurred. So if you're able to stream it, Zoom it, watch it, whatever, go Republic and get that stadium for 2027 up and running.
And I cannot wait to hit there in September and get some pictures of the groundbreaking already done, the work already started. I mean, that's going to be definitely a highlight of my time when I'm out there in September. Don't forget to follow our social media. Luis will give that to all of you. And thank you for watching and listening. And go Republic.
Yeah, for me, keep an eye on the website. I will have the match recap for the Oakland match up shortly, and I'll have the match preview for Loudoun up there at some point. I'm aiming to be there on Tuesday, but after that, I'm going to be on vacation from Wednesday to Saturday, so I'm not going to be able to get a match recap for the midweek game, but I should be back for El Paso and Go Republic.
What about Tuesday trivia? Are we doing that, or is that just too much?
I should be able to do Tuesday trivia.
Thank you. That is like my favoriteest thing. And your recaps, of course, and your previews. Sorry.
Yeah, that is happening at State Republic 12 on Instagram. For me, as always, y'all, check out the website, sacsoccerpod.com. We have it here on the screen for those of you watching. You can listen to all the episodes re-record if you want to listen to it in audio format. You can read Rian's All Is Quell blog. You can contact us on there, whether it's filling out a form like Nate did earlier, or if you want to record a voicemail, you can actually record it there and we can actually play it here on the podcast. You can also check out our videos, including now these podcast episodes on there. We have those. We have other videos, some that I'm planning on recording. The Modesto USL one is in the plans. I also have one about Academica and kind of what it's like to go to a game, so you can get that video there. And so trying to do more videos on the YouTube channel, so more of that will be added. And of course, the podcast episodes will now be on there. But we still encourage you guys to listen to the episodes if you want. The audio will be more polished on the audio episodes, so keep that in mind. I don't really have that much time to work on the videos, so the videos will be a little lengthy. Just like if you guys are watching on YouTube, it is a lengthy video. If you're listening, not as lengthy. It's still lengthy, but not like video-wise. But check it out. Again, that's on the video section there. So lots that you can see on there. We have everything. And you can also read more about us if you want to read more about who we are on there. And if you want to read more about the history of the podcast, you go under About and you can actually read more about that. And I'm realizing we need a picture with us four at some point. That
or Photoshop Rihanna in holding a Sac Republic, Sac Soccer podcast scarf.
Well, I guess we got to figure out if Rian's going to be at the game on against Phoenix next month then.
Rian, you're muted.
Well, I have to be at this point, right? What time? Yeah. What day is it?
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, it should be available.
That would be great. We got to get you some tickets for that one.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a hot game. Well, I mean, it might be hot, but not as summer hot.
It's
mid-September.
No excuses, Rian. No more 100. Well, knock on wood, because you never know what the weather we have. If it's a 100-degree day.
I'll put it this way: if I can somehow manage to make it there with maybe a few hours of sleep after going to see Missing Persons in San Francisco the day before, come on, Rian, you can do it.
I should be able to do it. Granted, if work doesn't kill me beforehand.
Oh.
There'll be plenty of this in September. I'm bringing at least a 12-pack. Good old Texas Ziegenbach.
But other than that, y'all, again, as Sharon said, shout out to the team for having the stadium news happening already, and for us to be able to have construction go on with the stadium on Monday. We'll see how things progress. for those of you out there, Sharon, Rion, you guys being there in Sacramento, as the stadium is built, we'll probably have some pictures shared if you guys are in the area, because all of us non-Sacramento locals will want to see what that progress looks like. I'm sure the team will have their own thing, but we can have more of those whenever you guys are around the area there, just to see what the progress is looking like and keep up to date on that and how things are progressing with that. So but with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for either watching or listening to the podcast tonight. We really appreciate all your support. Apologies last week for the glitch that happened with the audio podcast episode. I want to make sure that that hopefully it doesn't happen again. But shout out to all the people that were commenting, telling us like, hey, there's this. Thank you to that, and to Sharon for sharing on the stories there that we were working on that as well. But we hope you have a good morning, good night whenever you're watching or listening to us, and you'll watch or hear us next week here on Stay Republic Podcast.